Hey guys, it's me, Uitumi, the guys with the 5 eyes that you see. Sorry if this audio is gonna sound crazy wonky or wobbly or whatever. I had to EQ the mess out of it because my I was trying to use my little mic that actually works, but I put the card in after going back in the house again, and I now can't afford to keep going back in the house again because I got to get to my job. But anyways, I wanted to give my first impressions on Silent Hill 2 Remake. And the reason being is that, because, you know, honestly, this game is so powerful that within the first couple minutes, you're really going to feel it. First thing I will say is that my visuals are going to be really choppy. I'm probably just going to use my my gameplay, because I kind of wanted to show you guys just like how I was dealing with all the sound and everything, with everything chopping up. But apparently the game is a bit choppy for a lot of people. And, you know, some people are getting it to run really smooth, and some people are still just trying to figure things out. But I wanted to use my gameplay because I was proud that I got this game. And the first thing we'll talk about is that they got the overall feel and the environment, and they did it well. They added a lot of more breadth to this place. One thing I will say as well is always read the walls. Like, there are so many spots and places in this game where there is there's like, you know, just little dialogue, little graffiti and stuff, and they have a great amount of sayings, and it kind of just adds a lot of the character to a lot of the just, you know, the walls and the buildings and everything like that. You know, it makes it so that you always have something to look at. You know, it kind of keeps your mind moving, your eyes moving, you know, gives the lore that real feel like, damn, someone was here, right? And everything like that. And, you know, it's great. The movement on James is great. He got his little dodge buttons, so he ducks and weaves like Ali. But even without getting to the combat part, yeah, he moves pretty good. In the field, the fog is very nice, actually. It feels a bit, it feels legitimately more disorienting than ever. Because, like, you can actually, they give you a liberal amount of space to see in front of you, but it's heavy. It's way heavier now. Like, I don't know, like, the realistic consistency with what we got with games these days, man. It's got that shit looking great. And you hear my wipers, it's raining. We down here in Florida trying to prepare for this hurricane, which makes playing even scarier. Okay, so now to the real meat and grizzle. We're getting to it. So, of course, everyone's seen the characters, and, you know, I think I've been introduced to Angela. That probably is her name, you know. And, man, dialogue-wise, after playing, because I've already experienced the game before, and I know who does what. But when she mentions who she mentions, and knowing how Silent Hill works and how she, like, speaks, man, it's so much eerier too. Like, it even feels eerier knowing what's going on, but seeing it being so different, it's like it's the same story but told in a different way. You can just feel it. It adds to the creepiness, man. And let's see, what else I gotta say? Okay, so I think that's it. So the real thing I really wanted to get to drive the point home with my first impression is that everything in this game when it comes to just in general how spooky it is and the feel of it, how nice it is that fucking, I mean, is that freaking sound design. The sound design in this game is one of the best sound designs I've, you know, just ever. Like, Silent Hill in general is all about that bass, you know what I'm saying? The best thing about Silent Hill is that a lot of the fear you obtain from it is usually caused because of the sound. You'll just be walking somewhere, hear a squelch, hear something that sounds like it should be alive or even a creature, and it's like really nothing. And I remember playing this, walking through the woods, you know, after the start of the game, there was some kind of growl and a vibration on my controller, and it spooked the living hell out of me. And the opening sequence was a bit intense too, as well, in the first one, because it does like the same thing. But man, again, it's just different here. Like everything you hear makes you just nervous. And that's the thing. That's why Silent Hill is like scary in its own little nice right, because there's a lot of sound and movement that doesn't really mean enemy. It's just there, but it makes it feel like Silent Hill is constantly watching you and constantly pitter-pattering with you, making you a little crazy. And when you, trust me, when you play this with headphones on, I actually have to give a warning that I don't recommend you play this with headphones on if you have any horror game in general, but this one especially, you maybe have some anxiety issues or something of that, like, because like they nailed it. You know, they even have like a lot of transitional sounds too. You'll hear one thing in your left ear and then it'll come out your right, and then they also faded it really well, so it sounded like it was going behind my head, like I legitimately thought something was like right there. It's funny because it's like when you explain audio, that's like the one thing you have to experience. If you watch any playthroughs of this game, you must definitely, again, unless you have really bad anxiety issues or something like that, or you're prone to hearing things and thinking things that aren't there is real, don't do that. But if you cool and you want to be scared and get a little adrenaline pumping, definitely put those headphones on, because you will feel like you're hearing your own soul taking steps. Although I will say, I do get a bit annoyed with James when he starts walking. I get annoyed. I do get annoyed because it's like every step he takes sounds so serious. Like he steps on the sidewalk, it's like he steps in the grass and the mud, you hear it's all squishy. Like every step he takes, he's a loud ass sound. But again, that also throws me off and stuff. And I had to dedicate such a large portion of the video to that because I mean, you know, because Silent Hill 2 is a very it's a lax game. You know, it's not really heavy on the action, especially at first. It's a slow burn, and it really does that first, like, I only like that first, it's like the first 20 minutes of the game that they spend, like, you know, just kind of acclimating you, getting you to walk in the town and everything like that, right? And boy, it's just creepy. It's creepy. That's like the one creepiest first 20 minutes of any game I played. And it's funny because in juxtaposition, I played Dead Space Remake recently with my brother. And it's funny how fear games have their different elements to make them scary in different ways. Because in Dead Space, it's horror with a lot of action. So the horror in that really is just getting, like, when you get jumped and just going out and losing, you know, your clip and everything, and just like walking knowing that they're gonna swoop through. But when it comes to audio though, it's like kind of different. They require a bit more silence to make you feel the emptiness of the ship, and then it rushes in. But with Silent Hill, oh man, and that's why I had to get to with the music on that part too. Akira Yamaoka just, oh man, he just killed it, bro. Every time, like, you get to a point where the game kind of stops, it gives you a cutscene with some music. His music is so soft and so poignant that it feels very relaxing. You kind of get into it, and then the music stops, and then you're back in the game, and you're hearing like a like the moodiness of like the downtime when you're like just in the game and trying to explore around. It's almost like the music is telling you like you're gonna get really messed up really bad here. I bet you want to turn around. You have to keep going. It's like when I listen to the music, it's like another character talking to you. The music is legitimately talking to you, and the way it fades from this to that, it's very crazy, and it keeps you just as on edge as the regular sound design. Like, I've never really experienced so much auditory pleasure. No, I wouldn't call it pleasure, because I would say so much auditory pleasure with so much auditory loathing, like, as I've ever played in any game ever in my life. Like they, whew, man, I'm glazing. This is probably up there for my game of the year, and I haven't played too many games, but you know, I paid for the deluxe. I didn't even really care to have like first day access. I just want them to make Silent Hill 3. Because that's my takeaway from all this. That'll be something I mention in every video that I do on this game. that we need Silent Hill 3 now. I would take a remake of the whole quadrilogy. Just remake the whole quadrilogy and have some smaller things and things around it. Because I know the next main line is supposed to be like, what, Silent Hill F? And that's supposed to be in like a Japanese village, which is still pretty damn scary because guess what? Uzumaki came out recently. So it's a whole lot going on. Japan's got a lot going on for the month of October right now. But this game right here is a hit. So we're going to get, the money's going to flow in. So it's all a matter of Konami to decide which game they would go with. And I would actually slow burn people up and start with 1 and then introduce 3. I'm not so sure if they do even go to Remake 4. But if Resident Evil remade their 4th one, fuck it. Why not? Why not? I mean, shoot. Silent Hills was the reason Resident Evil 7 basically began the revival of Resident Evil, because they were like, well, that first person view looks pretty good. Let's do that. So, hey, they took from y'all, right, Team Silent, to Blooper, Konami. Just take back from them. It's easy as pie. And you know, and money's gonna flow into the company, because if this game's good, then we know Metal Gear Solid Delta is gonna be great. And you know what? I think I'm gonna buy that too. I'm not really into Metal Gear Solid besides like the 4th one. But yeah, I think I'll play that too. Just to round up my first impressions, that Silent Hill 3, if they release Silent Hill 3, that will be top 5 greatest horror games ever made. You could argue that Silent Hill 4 remake would be even scarier. Although, I don't know. I think those ghosts are so cheese that everybody would get annoyed. And I would say it's more so the most frustrating game ever. But Silent Hill 3 completely and utterly had the scariest, most negatives, most disturbing environments, hands down. And I think that game will be awesome. But this is my first impression. The game, it plays well, but I definitely had to really talk about the sound design, because that's basically, that's pretty much 50% of the horror right there. It's just hearing things and not knowing what's real, or thinking you heard it, or knowing that shit isn't real, but it doesn't sound like it needs to even be there. You know, it's a crazy experience. One of the best auditory games ever, definitely out there with Sinuous Blade and everything. And again, the composition by Akira Yamaoka and the rest of his team too, because you know, we always talk about him, but you know there's other people going on behind the scenes with him too. So whoever the audio engineer guys are, or the people, you know, that produce the instruments that he's using, and everybody else that's working with him too, everybody did a good job on this game. I'm not sure I can even give a review in a time that anyone would care, but I'm definitely going to try to play this game as best I can, as choppy as it is, because I already know that, yeah, I'm probably going to struggle with my little laptop, but we'll see. Hopefully I can optimize the settings, and I'm definitely going to try to do at least a Let's Play. I don't think I have enough followers for a live yet, but we'll do a Let's Play, and I'll let you see how I play, unless my shit's too choppy. But anyway, I'm dragging on. Love you guys, be safe, and play this game if you can. It's really good.